Okay, so get ready for our next guest, Martin Da Costa, the man behind India Bike Week, one of India's hottest, most exciting motorcycling festivals, actually the first motorcycling festival ever in India. So this is huge news. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to welcome in none other than Martin Da Costa from 70 EMG, the man behind India Bike Week. All right, lots of exciting things coming up today. Like I said, we've been speaking to motorcyclists who really enjoy the experience of riding, just like yourself. I'm sure all of you have a motorcycle, you ride with safety gear on, and there he is, Martin Da Costa.
Yeah, without my safety gear though, Yudi.
Without your safety gear. But you know, you're one of those characters, even with the safety gear on, you're a maverick.
I don't know. Really?
You're a legend. You're a legend, Marty.
Really?
You're a legend.
I don't know.
So, Marty, you seem to be sitting in a beautiful location. I see there's a little bit of sun. We have gloomy days because it's raining in India. The monsoons have hit the shores.
Yeah.
But you seem to be really enjoying your, what's that, a mimosa? Are you having a mimosa?
No, do you know what this is actually? It's a runner bean plant.
No, I'm talking about the drink.
Oh, the drink. This is it's soda water, tonic, lemon, and gin.
Oh wow, Marty, I'm so jealous of you. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
So, Marty, welcome to Passport to Freedom. This is an initiative by Harley-Davidson India to get people to share their motorcycling experiences and their amazing adventures with other bikers and fellow enthusiasts. Now, you're a man who has a lot of experience with motorcycles. You've done some crazy rides. You had some crazy experiences, some which we can share on this chat. Some maybe when people have crossed the age limit to understand what it means to be a gentleman motorcyclist.
Adventure. Adventure, gentleman, motorcyclist.
Okay, getting right into it. When was the first experience you had on a motorcycle? When was the first time you got on a motorcycle? Back in the day when you were young, and when was it? When was the first time?
I mean, you know, I'd always been on bikes since the age of 14, 15.
Okay.
And then, you know, you go to Greek islands when you're 16, 17, and you rent scooters and that. But the first proper experience was in India, because I moved to India in 1995, and I stayed there for 23 years.
Okay.
I still pretty much live in India most of the time, most of the year. And I bought an old, even at the time, it was a 12-year-old Enfield.
Okay.
And I used to go to meetings on that Enfield across Mumbai, and you know how it is, right? You turn up with all your fingernails black from the oil. Before I learned to start using motorbike gloves, and I'd have these meetings with like the CEO of, I don't know, Diageo or Shaw Wallace at the time, or Dunlop.
And there you were, all greased up. All greased up.
Just all greased up with black fingernails from my Enfield. But so I've been riding bikes in India I'll tell you exactly when. Since the 15th of October, 1995.
Okay. And what was the experience like? Was there something that when you were in England before you moved to India, did you ever ride a motorcycle? Did you ever ride a motorcycle?
No, not really, because you know they've got this incredibly complex test that you have to pass. And I was 24 and I didn't have any money and it was expensive. And no, so I didn't. And then I went to India, of course, and I did the test. In fact, I did do the motorbike test in Mumbai at the ITO. It wasn't that difficult, I'll be honest, right? As you probably know. A couple of cones. Can you stop? Yeah. Can you go? Yeah.
Can you start the bike?
Can you start?
Well,
that was, see, on that Enfield, that was the real challenge.
That was the real challenge. Those bikes were tough motorcycles to get.
Well, I've still got it.
Started.
I've still got it. My one of the guys that works for me now rides it every day.
It's like a hand-me-down.
Yeah, it's been through. I mean, it's still in my name, right? I've still got the bike. It's about 35, 38 years old now, and it's been through 6 pairs of hands through the company.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's a story to tell to the kids. Maybe your kids will get the bike. You got 2 boys, right? And
two boys.
do they like motorcycles? Do they like motorcycles?
Not yet. Not yet. They're still
Not
16
yet.
and 16, 13, so they're a little bit not quite there yet.
You know, maybe when they get their motorcycle fascination on, then you could probably give them that motorcycle you've been handing out to everybody else in the company.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, like, if you have an old Enfield, like any old bike, right? I should stop saying that word. We're on a Harley-Davidson site. But if you have any old bike, the best thing you can do is actually to give it to someone much, much younger than you and say, whatever goes wrong, you can have it for free. Right?
Yeah.
But I want it, whenever I want it back, I want it back. But whatever goes wrong, you have to fix it. Right? You have to fix it. And then that bike will get used. It'll be maintained properly. And so it works as well today as it worked back in 1995.
You know, that's the beauty of owning a motorcycle, because once you fall in love with motorcycling, you want to get your hands dirty. You want to get under the hood, so to speak, and try and figure out how best you can play around with the machine to kind of keep it running for as long as you have the motorcycle. Yeah, so that's one thing I love about motorcycles, is it's kind of a community of people who share the same passion, and they like to tweak around and play around with motorcycles, and they kind of group together, just like how the whole India Bike Week vibe happens every time the festival opens its gates to motorcyclists from all around the country. That's such a fascinating place to see so much passion congregate under one roof. I love that spirit of motorcycling that takes place in India Bike Week. So how did the idea of India Bike Week come to you?
You know, I'll be honest, it wasn't just me. So I run a company, we're a festival and event management agency called 70 EMG. And there was just quite a few lads and lasses, like boys and girls in the company that rode bikes. And so there's Darius Gokal, who you know, and Dennis Joseph, who you know, and a load of other guys who were just they're almost obsessed with bikes and bike around the independence, the freedom it gives you.
Yeah.
And they'd been at me saying, let's do a festival, let's do a motorbike festival. I was like, yeah, it's a really good idea, but how do we pay for it? And then I made friends with the then country head of Harley-Davidson, Anup Prakash. Do you remember Anup?
Very cool guy. Very cool guy.
So he was a
Navy SEAL.
Dude, he was not Navy SEAL. He was a Marine Recon intelligence.
Oh, Marine Recon. Oh, okay, that's pretty intense.
Super. And then he worked for the State Department in America, and then he ended up setting up Harley-Davidson in India. Super cool guy. And we were in some hotel in Delhi, and they had a cigar lounge, and we were like,
why not?
So we were drinking whiskey and smoking a cigar, and he said, and I said to him, let's just do a motorbike festival. He was like, yeah. And he said, we'll call it India Bike Week, man. I was like, that's a good
nice.
Name. Yeah, it was his name. And I said, that's a bloody good idea. And then so Harley and us got together, and we put this thing together. And what I did say to Harley at the time, I said, listen, if it's just a Harley event, it can't grow, and it needs to grow.
Yeah.
It needs to capture the passion of Indian motorcycling.
Yeah.
And they were really cool about it. He was really cool, and Harley have always been really cool about that. So they were like, yeah, just get anyone else you want to come in, whatever brands, companies. And it was that was needed, really. It was someone to seed it, which Harley-Davidson did. I mean, they had the sort of forethought to see that India required something to build that leisure motorcycling thing. And then we brought everyone else in, and it just, well, you've been
I've been there for all of them. It was the first experience of the India Bike Week and Harley-Davidson as a company rallying their troops together to be part of that exciting adventure, especially when people rode down the main street of India Bike Week on the Harley-Davidson, all the chapters. That was a sight to see. A very exciting moment. Unbelievable. Like everybody on their massive machines riding from different parts of the country, different Harley-Davidson motorcycling chapters. It was small then, but it was still so exciting. So how did you come up with the idea of getting these motorcycling chapters to ride from their cities to India Bike Week?
Well, it was, you know, it was based very loosely on what happens at Sturgis in
Yeah,
America, right? Where you have 200, you have almost 250,000 bikers come into that small town, and
yeah,
for them, for a lot of them, the main event, it's not really a festival, it's like a gathering.
yeah,
And the main event is for them just to get ride down that high street, and there's
yeah.
girls, beer and bikes. It's just fantastic.
It's a great vibe.
So yeah, so we thought, well, we have to have parades.
Yeah,
And we made a huge effort to contact. You know how it's always very difficult to set up one of these things because everyone's a bit suspicious and they're like, "Why should we come? And what's going to happen
yeah,
at the
yeah,
end? It's going to be rubbish." You know. And we were like, "No, no, come, come, come." So they did, bless them. And then over the years, you know, the reputation spread, and we made this huge effort. I mean, you know, there are guys like Abhishek and Carl and a load of other guys at 70MG.
yeah,
Behind the scenes who basically spend 3 or 4, maybe 5 months a year calling up motorcycle clubs across India.
yeah,
And
yeah,
we don't care what you ride. I mean, it doesn't matter what you could ride a Pulsar. We don't. I mean, it's just irrelevant. And just saying, just come and then as a club, come into India Bike
yeah,
and share in that pride you have together as a club.
yeah,
And then meet other clubs, right? Meet other
yeah,
clubs, meet other riders,
yeah,
learn from them.
yeah,
And that's the other side of it. So India Bike Week is part party, right? It's part
yeah.
like, yeah, come on. But it's also part learning and meeting other
Meeting
bikers.
and just
Yeah,
exchanging stories like we are right now.
yeah,
But one of the fascinating things that I did see during India Bike Week was the introduction of interesting riding experiences. And
yeah.
in the last edition, Harley-Davidson and you got together and created this amazing flat track experience.
Well, the last 2 editions, actually.
Oh, the last 2 editions, yes. But
Yeah,
the
yeah.
last edition was so exciting because they had a competition.
Sorry,
They,
Rudy, you should remember, buddy, because
yeah.
you crashed on the first one 2 years ago.
That was
Why?
not my fault.
I
The
don't
track
know.
wasn't even prepped. The track wasn't
Well,
even prepped.
I know you
Anyway,
still
don't worry.
crashed, man.
But crashing is a part of learning, Marty.
I
That's the
know,
way you
bro.
fall and you get up.
But let's face
But,
it, you know.
but I have to tell you, it was one of the most thrilling motorcycling experiences I had because Harley Davidson gave you this really beautiful machine and said, take it around a track. Don't worry about falling. Just enjoy the experience. And
Yeah.
flat tracking is such an exciting motorsport. And it was so cool to see that take place during the last 2 editions of the India Bike Week. The last edition had a competition. Did you ever get a chance to check out the flat track experience while you were at the festival?
I didn't, you know, I'm a bit old to start riding flat tracks. I'm like 50 years
Yeah,
old, dude. You know. No, but I saw it, of course. I mean, it was amazing. You know, there was the flat
yeah,
track. There was also the last India Bike. There was that amazing hill climb we did as well.
yeah, yeah,
But the flat track is just fantastic. You know, for young riders to learn how to
yeah.
control their bikes, especially off road, obviously, then you know, there's nothing that really will teach you more than sliding around a track on a big Harley.
That's amazing because some of the cooler initiatives in the motorcycling culture, so to speak, have been kicked off by Harley-Davidson. Supporting you guys in the very first India Bike Week was one of them, and then introducing flat tracking to Indian motorcyclists and giving them a chance to experience something like that. A lot of exciting things, and hopefully in the coming editions, there'll be a lot more exciting biking experiences at the India
Yeah.
Bike Week. And talking about biking experiences, you have had so many amazing adventures on motorcycles. You've been riding through Morocco, Japan, Thailand, Bhutan, and now you live in Italy, so you have the freedom to ride through the various European countries. So tell us, which has been the most exciting motorcycling adventure for you from all these experiences that you've had?
I don't know about exciting. I mean, I don't know about exciting. The best one,
Yeah,
the best one, and
yeah.
you were on it, so you should
Oh,
remember it.
Thailand.
No, not Thailand. Thailand was
Oh,
really
the
good
India
fun.
Bike
Remember
Week. India
the
Bike
first
Week.
one, right? Where
Yeah,
where the 6 of us got together and we
yeah,
rode down that coast of Maharashtra from Mumbai.
absolutely.
Actually, from Alibag, right? From
From
Alibag,
Alibag
Raigad.
all the way down to the first India Bike Week
Yeah,
festival.
and we had 6 different bikes from 6 different manufacturers, and I fell in love with
Yeah.
that Harley. Do you remember that?
The 883. The
The
883.
883 Iron Harley.
Great
Yeah.
fun. That was a
Great
great
fun. I
bike.
mean, but
Yeah.
you know, for the roads, it was challenging.
Yeah.
Do you remember because of the potholes and everything? But that trip
I don't know
was
what roads you're
unbelievable.
talking about. I don't know what roads you're talking about. There were no roads.
Wow,
We
you
were
know,
just,
half of them were river. It's post-monsoon Maharashtra, right?
yeah, yeah,
Post-monsoon rural Maharashtra. There are no roads.
yeah.
Um,
But that was an
yeah, but
exciting trip.
dude, that was just funny. Do you remember? We kept getting lost all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
B, all the bikes apart from the Harley kept breaking down, right? And
That's
luck,
true. Every
yeah,
bike broke down,
yeah.
just apart from the Harley.
And none of us really knew, apart from you, because you're a
Yeah,
brilliant biker. None of us were really that good on big bikes anyway. So we
yeah.
kept dropping them, and we kept, you know, things kept going wrong. Do you remember that same Enfield I was talking about before? Do you remember when it
That
set
just
itself?
kept
No, no,
breaking
dude.
down every
Do, do
time.
you remember when it set itself on fire at a petrol station as I was sitting on it? And
It did. It.
I looked around at you guys, and all you were doing was just bent double, laughing and pointing at me, with flames coming up between my legs. Yeah,
That
so
was a scary. That was a scary moment,
that was okay. I mean, they fixed it in 45 minutes, didn't they? They just put a whole
Marty.
new wiring system.
But you're a party starter. You're a fire starter. You start up fires, and
Wow. I
you
don't
were the
know.
one who actually got the group together to do that because there was Eddie from England. There was we had
Colwyn Harris, CEO
Colvin
of
Harris,
3WC.
yes, yeah, and we had Casey,
Kirsty Akambata,
and then we
the
had Matthew.
script writer extraordinaire. Matthew Spacey, head of Magic Bus, the NGO.
Yeah. So it was
That's
amazing. All these
a
guys
good
coming in.
trip.
I'd never met these guys before. Thanks to you, I've made new friends.
Yeah.
And that's the whole beauty about riding with groups. You
Well, you know what?
find connection.
You missed the last one. The last one we did we did the same trip.
Yeah, yeah.
But you missed it because, of course,
I
you had to
missed
go
it this
straight
time.
down
Yeah.
to Indian bike ring. But that was equally good fun. Again, we got lost all the time.
Yeah.
Again, the bikes gave out. Again, the roads were terrible. Again, we laughed until our sides ached. It's just great. I love biking trips. It's just great.
So you've really taken to the motorcycle in the last few years. You've had a lot of great motorcycling adventures. Tell us about the last one you had. Okay, I've got to tell everybody watching this that we guys in India are locked in and we're not really given the opportunity to hit the highway or get on the road because of the lockdown. But Marty's in Italy, and things are kind of back to normal there. So he's
Sort of.
had sort of, but you're having a great time. You've had some fantastic motorcycling trips
Well,
in this lockdown.
I
So
got, I
tell us
got.
about the last one. Tell us
It's
about
not.
the last
It's
one.
well. Firstly, it's not that I really live here. I mean, I sort of live here some of the time, and then I live in India most of the time.
Marty, you're
But
a man of the world. You're a man of the world. So
but
let's just take it.
no, I got out on March 12th, just before the
Yeah,
lockdown in India. And then I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, the lockdown here, which was really
yeah,
a serious lockdown, just
yeah.
it opened up, and so I just jumped on my bike and I rode I did about a 2,500 kilometer trip
Oh, wow.
via, yeah, it was really, no, it was just good, and I asked the wife, and she said, just go, and
Nice.
and it was interesting because the roads were half empty. I mean, there's hardly anyone on the
Yeah.
roads. There's no tourists or anything like that. And I rode to Marseille in the south of France through the mountain
Oh,
roads. Quite there. I mean, if you want to ride anywhere
yeah.
and see the most beautiful roads and beautiful, you know,
Scenery.
scenery and brilliant hotels and restaurants in south of France, inland
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And then I rode into the French Alps, and then did this, and then either by the seventh day, my wife was like, "Where the hell
Yeah.
are you?" So
Come
then
back.
I come back. So I did this monumental sort of 850-kilometer ride down the Italian motorways from the French Alps to Rome in one day. I left at 8 and arrived at 9. But it was just an amazing ride. Really,
So tell me, from all the beautiful routes that you took on this motorcycle trip just now, what was the French Alps like? Because I love riding in the mountains. I love the
Yeah.
loops. I love the corners. I love those mountainous roads. So where did you find that
I'll
one
give you.
spot?
I'll give. Well, if you go from Genoa, which is in the northwest of Italy,
Yeah,
and then you go from Genoa and you take the inland. So what most people do is they go from Genoa to Monaco to Nice to Cannes along the coast.
Yeah,
So don't do
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Go on.
yeah.
It's called the Grande Corniche, which is like the mountain
Grand
road.
Corniche. Yeah, yeah,
It's I mean, so I got on the knuckle of my front, my big toe, and on
yeah.
my second toe, the knuckle, I've still got a big bruise from
From the
shifting
get
gear.
the
Yeah, from shifting gear, because it's just turn up, and it's really beautiful and very little traffic and great roads. And then you get to Marseille, and then you leave Marseille and you start going into the mountains. You do about an hour, 2 hours on the motorway, and then you turn off it, and then you're in the French Alps.
yeah.
And I mean, it's just extraordinary. It's just extraordinary. It's just the most beautiful roads, uh, and not and what I like about them as well. So I don't actually like the really sharp hairpin bends. I mean,
Bends, yeah.
do you know what I
You
mean? When
like
you're sort of,
the
I
gentle
mean,
curves.
well, when you can build up a head of steam and you can sort
Yeah,
of,
yeah,
you're just
yeah,
rocking on the bike, left to
yeah.
right, left to right. There's a lot of that on these roads. Beautiful,
Oh, that's
beautiful,
exciting.
Yudhishthir.
Marty, is there any other road trip that you have on your wish list? Someplace you really want to go? Is there a
Yeah,
place that you
Chile,
really want
South
to go?
America. Well, we all want to go, don't we?
We want to
South
go to South,
America. We
yeah,
have to go to Colombia, and we have to court
absolutely.
death. We have to
Yeah.
because people die when they go to South America, don't they? They just die. But
Well,
we want to do
I'm
that. We
hoping
want
to
to do.
come back. I have a
Well,
family who
I mean,
wants to
we
see
all
that.
are. No, do you remember we planned that trip we planned
Yeah,
a trip from Chile to Buenos Aires through the Andes Mountains.
to the
That was a
Andes. That'll
trip.
be a trip. That'll be a
Yeah,
trip.
and then we also planned that. Then we also planned a from the top of Chile in the Andes down through the grapevines and down to the coast. And but I think the one we're going to do first, which you're coming on, you can't bail out this time.
But I'd love to go to Colombia.
February,
Yeah.
March is we're going to go around Sri Lanka, around the
Oh, okay.
yeah,
That is on. Sri Lanka is a beautiful
round and
country
then
to ride in.
through, sort
Yeah.
of through the mountains and then round the coast of Sri
Sri
Lanka.
Lanka is a beautiful country to ride in. So I'm totally on for that motorcycle
You better
trip.
be. You can't bail out this time.
Yeah, so there's going to be lots of motorcycle banter. There's going to be some fun. The guys, I love the guys. Marty, I love you. So it's going to be a fantastic experience. And talking about motorcycles, Harley-Davidson's just launched this new fantastic cruiser called the Harley-Davidson Lowrider S. I'm just going to give you a quick sneak peek at what it looks like so that you have an idea in case on your next motorcycle adventure you want one of these bikes. Here it is. Okay. This is the Harley-Davidson Lowrider S. It's a 1868cc motorcycle with the Milwaukee Big Twin V. And there you can see it. A beautiful motorcycle. What I love about this motorcycle, Marty, is it's a cruiser. If you like an easier motorcycle and you like something that's comfortable, but yet gives you a nice aggressive ride, then the Harley-Davidson Lowrider S is definitely something you should try on your next trip.
Tell
So
me,
it was released.
Have you seen the Harley's new adventure bike?
I haven't seen the new adventure bike, but I'm going to look it up.
It's quite an impressive thing.
I know you're an adventure bike
solid.
enthusiast, so
Yeah, because it's comfortable, isn't it?
yeah. But I kind of, it depends, if I'm in the city, I'd like something easier to ride, like a street
Zippier.
motorcycle. Yeah, something more street friendly, like either naked street or like the Lowrider S, which is kind of a street motorcycle. So a cruiser, which is kind of in between a street and a cruiser. So I like that kind of vibe. And I also hope that at some point I'll get a scrambler. I love scramblers. So I'm trying to do that one. So Marty, before we move ahead to the next part of this conversation, when is India Bike Week going to take place next? And when are we going to see more action on that?
That's the $1 million question. I think what we are going to do, because we don't know when India is going to open up for events. And so to start planning, it's 20,000 people now.
Yeah.
To start planning for 20,000 people is quite hard. When you don't know what the law is going to be, whether you don't know whether this pandemic is going to continue. What we're currently planning, though, is I don't know if you remember, about 2 or 3 years ago, we did India Bike Week on tour. And we did the iconic 5 events across India. It's a small event.
So lots
in
took it to cities. Yeah, took it to cities.
So I think we'll probably start off with that. So we'll get 4 or 5 of the. You'll get Harley, and we'll get some partners together, and we'll do a ride, like a big ride, and at the end of it there'll be an event of sorts,
Yeah.
you know, social distancing and all the rest of it, and a bit of a
Yeah.
party and all that, a couple of launches.
A
And we'll do that
socially
in maybe
distanced
6 or
party.
social distance party. What can you do? I mean, you know, 6, and then we'll do 6 or 7 of those, and I don't know. You know, we'd love to do India Bike Week in February, but it may
Yeah.
have to wait till next November.
Well, we are all hoping that something happens soon because we're pretty
Yeah,
excited and charged about getting on a motorcycle and getting on the road. Okay, so we're going to have some fun right now. This is a rapid fire round. Let's see if you can
Right.
come up with a quick, quirky answer. Full face helmet or a open face helmet for you?
Well, it depends on the ride. Full face on the motorway, 100%. Round town, you want an open face, don't you, really?
You want everybody to see who's riding that
Well,
motorcycle.
you want to see. You want to see. You want your peripheral vision.
Okay, would you ride bare-chested or with full riding gear?
Full armor all the time.
Full
Full
armor all the
armor
time.
all the time.
You know, that's one
In
thing
fact,
that...
we should alliterate that. So it's sort of FAATM. No, TT.
Full armor all the time.
Full armor
Yeah.
all the time. Don't bugger
Full armor
about.
all the time. You know, I can't agree with you more because riding with the right safety gear is so important because the roads in
time.
India are very dangerous. The roads anywhere are very dangerous.
Anywhere,
so
dude, anywhere.
It's better to be safe than sorry. And finally, I want to...
You know what these Italian motorways are like? They're like blanket
Oh, yeah.
smooth, right? So
Yeah.
on the way back on that massive 900-kilometer ride I did,
Yeah.
at one point, I mean, it started raining a bit, nothing serious, but I'm going at 150, right? 160, because you don't notice on a bike, you know, when,
Yeah.
especially now with you've got this Bluetooth-enabled helmets. So I'm listening to a Joe Rogan podcast,
Yeah.
or whatever, and I'm going at 160. I didn't even know. I thought I was going at 110, and suddenly my back wheel just goes
shit.
at 160. And
That's
it was
scary.
it was a little patch of oil, and the bike righted itself. It was a good bike,
Yeah.
and I kept on going. And I just thought, at any moment, it just doesn't matter.
Anything
You
can
have to-
happen.
You have to wear the armor.
Yeah. So, guys, if you're listening to this, remember on a motorcycle, anytime, always have your helmet, always
All
have
the
your riding
armor,
gear,
all the time.
all the time.
All the
Stay
time.
safe. Okay. So, would you prefer hilly roads or coastal roads? What do you like? Hilly roads or coastal roads?
Depends, right? Maharashtra,
Yeah.
coast of India, coastal roads, 100%, because beautiful people, amazing food,
Yeah.
glorious roads,
Yeah.
great scenery.
Yeah.
Southern Europe, avoid the coastal roads. It's just traffic lights and towns and people and beaches.
Yeah. And
You
too
wanna
many
be-
speed limits
And speed limit. You want to be in Southern Europe. You want to be in the hills. That's where you
in the hills. So when I was in Spain last summer, I went up to the Pico de Europa. It was absolutely stunning. And I recommend riding in the north, like you said. It's just beautiful. It's a lot of fun. And
it's,
Marty,
you know what? It's not expensive.
it's
know,
not
I was-
expensive. It's not
So
expensive.
I was so on these roads. You don't pay to be on the roads. It's not like motorbikes where you have to pay. And at lunchtime, I was going on Booking.com or whatever and looking for somewhere to stay. I was finding places for 30 euros, 2,000-3,000 rupees a night.
1,000 rupees a night, you can actually find a fantastic place because a lot of these small inns and little homestays, there's so many exciting places. And food is cheap also because once you get out of the city, it's really cheap and it's really exciting. And the scenery is or just pick up something at a supermarket, stop anywhere, eat on the road.
Oh, and I tell you the other thing, Yudi, about riding in Spain, Italy, France specifically, is that they just love riders.
Yeah.
They love riders. So when you're if you're on a mountain road and you're behind a car, he will or she will shift over to the right. They'll put their indicator on and
let you pass.
Go past. And every rider you pass, they'll put their fingers out like this. It's super cool. Or if they're going around a bend, they'll put their left leg out.
They do. And it's really nice because while you're riding on the roads in Europe, and as you pass another motorcyclist on the other way, they all give you a big thumbs up. Yeah, there's always a thumbs up, and that's beautiful. There's that little spirit of camaraderie and like looking out for bikers because to be honest, anything can happen. You could be in a sticky position. You want people to kind of reach out and help you, and you would have to do the same. So
And the
that
other,
kind
you know,
of
the other thing I like about it also is that no one cares what you ride. You know what I mean?
yeah, no one cares
You
what
could
you
be
ride.
there's a lot of old guys on these massive BMWs, but there's a lot
Yeah,
of young guys on sort of small little Japanesey 650cc fast
yeah.
thing. But everyone is cool with each other. No one, you know.
Everybody's cool with it, and that's what I like about. That's what I like about the riding brotherhood, because all it really matters is a motorcycle. As long as
Yeah,
you're on a motorcycle, that's what they want. So,
yeah.
Mari, before we sign off on this amazing chat we've had, I'm going to ask you for your first impressions on the Harley-Davidson Lowrider S. So, what do you think of
That's
this
a beautiful
motorcycle?
shit. Love it. I love
So,
it. My
so
favorite thing
the
about every Harley though is that engine. Because when you're
yeah,
riding it, and I
this is
remember
the
telling you this
Milwaukee
back in
8.
2014 when I
Yeah,
was riding that 883 Iron, it feels like you're riding something alive.
yeah,
You know, it just
absolutely.
the engine feels like you're on a horse or something. It just feels alive.
Well, this is the
Beautiful.
Milwaukee 8 114 engine. It's a 1,668 cc. It's got it's a 6 transmission gearbox, and it's just amazing. And another
Quick
thing that I
shifter?
really
No
want,
quick shifter.
yeah, it's got a shifter, yeah. And so the design actually is inspired by the whole lowrider legacy from the 1980s in Southern California. So it's got a slightly retro-ish look, and I like that about it.
Yeah, I like that
So,
about it. I like that back. I like that back
or you
mudguard.
can, yeah,
Really
the
like
mudguard. You can have a single seat, or you have the double seat option. That depends on what you want. Another
Yeah.
really cool thing is, I don't know if you can see it, but it gives you a slightly aggressive riding position because of the
Like yeah.
higher
You,
handlebars.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're slightly leaning forward, aren't you? Nice.
yeah, and it gives you a slightly more aggressive riding position because of the motocross handlebars that they've put, which I kind of love.
Yeah, I like that ergonomics. I like that. I like that triangle.
And it's really nice because you have this bike that looks like a cruiser, but at the same time, it's got that position of, sorry about that. Okay, you've got this bike that looks like a cruiser, but it's got this amazing position.
It's
So,
you're technologically brilliant.
technically stunted. I don't know, I have no idea how I ride a motorcycle because there's so much technology going on there.
Well,
But
mate, in
Mari,
fairness, you are the best rider I've ever met. I've ever come across. You're amazing. Yeah. So for all you viewers out there, when UD on a motorcycle, I'll describe it to you. So you know you get like a little plastic like little metal motorbike toys that we used to get, and then you get a plastic rider and you just put it on top, and that plastic rider is like this and it doesn't move, and then you go like this and like this with the bike, and that plastic rider doesn't move. That's how UD rides a bike. He's just perfectly balanced and incredibly fast. And
Mari,
the most
I don't
exciting
know what
ride
to
of my
say.
life, the most exciting ride of my life ever, it was me and Ed, was
Yeah.
was when we were late that night on going down to Goa, and you said, okay, we're gonna pump it up now, and you took us along those just as the sun was setting along those coastal roads in Maharashtra, and we were trying to follow you, and you were going so fast, and we were so scared, and you were so cool and so beautiful to look at that we just forgot about ourselves and just followed you. It was amazing.
That was a great ride. We had to
Yeah,
reach before the sunset. But
yeah.
Mari, as things come to an end on this amazing Passport to Freedom Season 2 with Harley-Davidson, thank you so much for taking the time out. I know you're on a holiday with the family in La Positana in Italy.
Positano, yeah.
It's just beautiful. I mean, I saw the scenery that you showed. Why don't you give the audience a slight peek
Dude,
at the...
I don't thing is I don't want I mean I'm really aware of what's going on in India, so we just got lucky, right? I mean, we
Yeah.
got stuck out here and we got
Okay, so
lucky.
we won't rub it in.
But I'll show you a little bit. I'll show you a little bit. I mean,
Oh, that's beautiful.
there.
Oh, there it is, Positano. That's beautiful. Thank you, Mari.
All
Love
right,
you
buddy.
lots. And
All right, stay
everybody
safe,
at Harley
Judy.
Davidson. Thank you,
Yeah,
Mari.
stay
You too.
safe, everyone.
And everybody at Harley Davidson wants to thank you for being part of this. And I'm sure
Great fun.
year on year, India Bike Week, 70 EMG, and the whole motorcycling culture that you've created for bikers in India is just going to grow leaps and bounds.
It's
And
gonna
I only
grow.
wish you, yeah, I only wish you
We all
lots
know
of
that, don't we,
success.
Yudi?
Yeah, we do.
I mean,
Because
we love
in the
biking, and so yeah.
in the last edition, I was shocked because
Yeah,
the
it's
crowds
amazing.
had tripled The crowds
Yeah.
had tripled.
Yeah.
The participation, I mean, you guys weren't prepared for the numbers that came in because
it
there
was
were
huge,
so
wasn't
many
it?
people. This time it was really huge.
You know, and the other, it's not just the people that actually come into the festival. It's the
Yeah.
15, 20,000 bikers outside the festival that have come
Yeah.
down to Goa. Well, it's a proper
It
party.
was just amazing. It was a proper party, and you always bring a great party to the town. So, Marty, stay happy, stay amazing, and this is
Take care.
everybody here saying love you. But
All
we're
right,
going to
buddy.
keep the conversation going. See you, and I'm going to be talking to you later. Love you,
All
Marty.
right, nicely done. You too, buddy. Love you.
See you, buddy. Bye.
Bye.